Hi guys, welcome back. This is going to be the first of what I hope to be just like a monthly update on what's going on gaming wise for me. I think it'll be something hopefully interesting to you guys, and hopefully might start some conversations or something. But first off, I want to do a bit of a thank you. When I first started doing these vids, I didn't expect to get more than probably a half dozen or so subscriptions, because there's so many other better, I think, bods out there on YouTube doing discussions and reviews and so forth. But I've got 42 subscribers at the moment, so I want to say thank you to everybody that has. I know that might sound a bit, everybody does it, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, what's going on gaming wise then? I'll start with the Warhammer stuff. As some of you may know, I might have mentioned it before, I run a Warhammer, it's a games club, but primarily it's Warhammer and 40k. And we started a 40k league at the beginning of January. We tend to split the year into two. One half is 40k, the other half is fantasy. And normally it's just everybody plays everybody once, random mission, and at the end of it you get a winner's medal, which is basically one of those little plastic things you get at toy stores or whatever for kids' parties. It just says winner on it. And a couple of the guys keep those in their cases when they've won, so they open it up and you've got how many tournaments they won. But at the end of the last fantasy league we did, which wrapped up in November of 2011, we had a little bit of spare cash in the club kitty, and I thought it'd be quite nice to get a trophy done. So got a nice trophy. It cost me about 15 quid. Basically just said, Primark's Warhammer Fantasy 2011 league winner. Nothing's fancy. And gave that to the guy that won, and it went down quite well. He was chuffed, everyone else was like cool. So it made me think, we're going to do that from here on out. But also, we normally try and play, I won't say friendly, but we try not to power game too much. We've got a couple of guys that are real dedicated, must win at all costs sort of players. But I thought, no one ever really kind of does at my club. So this time round, I've said, right, everybody that wants to be in is in. And if it takes most of the year to play, then that's what it does. And so we've got about 16 players in the current league. And I've said, right, any excess monies we get from the hiring of the venue, we'll go into the kitty, and at the end of it, the winner gets one of the £60 Battle Force boxes of their choice, as well as a trophy again. And to try and help people stay in, because we've got a couple, guys who aren't the best players, and when they realise they're not going to win, which they invariably don't, unfortunately, they tend to get a bit meh and they drop out because they're not going to win. So what I've also said is that there'll be a random, as long as you stay in for the entire duration of the league, whether you come last or mid-table, whatever, there'll be a random draw for someone who isn't me and isn't the winner, and they will get something like about £20 thereabouts, sort of like tactical squads price range box of an army of their choice. Give you an incentive just to stay in and play. But because there's prizes, I've said just go all out, play competitive. Let's have a big, let's get this competitive streak out and let's see what people can do with it. And we're coming up to the end of the second month of that so far, and it's going quite well. And then once this is, at the moment it runs, assuming everybody plays their games as they've been ranked so far, because we can only really get about 4, maybe 5 if we're lucky games going a night due to the space we have. A lot of people can play all their games at the club, then fine. If they play some of them outside the club, then that's even better because it speeds things up. Otherwise, it will run through until I think September, which isn't too bad. Then we're going to have a break, and then a couple of the guys that do Warhammer Fantasy are organising a teams Warhammer Fantasy. So 2 players a side, sort of like lower points, something like about 1,000 or 1,200 points each, sort of doubles league, which should be quite interesting. Oh, that's my phone, don't worry about that. And so at the moment I think we're really enjoying it. I can kind of see, because of the length of it, people might get a little bit tired towards the end, but hopefully we can keep the enthusiasm and momentum going, and it'll be good. Role play wise, I'm currently involved in 3 games. Every Sunday night I have my long-time group. We've been going for about 20 odd years now, pretty much since we left high school. Only a couple of people from the original group are still there. Everyone else has either joined in the last like 15 years or whatever. And there's 6 of us all in all. And normally I end up having to be the GM, which I don't mind. But I've turned around and gone, look, I need to have a break. We've just come out doing a big campaign. I just run the entire Rapanathuk Dungeon of Graves module from Necromancer Games. And that really, for some reason, despite my usual experience of running games and being the general GM, has really kind of zapped me a little bit. And I've said, right, I need to play for a while, someone else take over. So one of the guys has done so. He's created his own little world. It's a bit of an odd one, but I'm enjoying it. Though this is the first time I've played a halfling, I think, in D20. I think the last time I played a halfling was under 2nd edition AD&D. And I'm kind of regretting it slightly now. The reduced damage for small size weapons is like, ouch. This is a Pathfinder game, by the way. But, it's quite cool. I'm still having fun with it. But it turns out that the guy that's running it, due to work and family commitments, his girlfriend also plays in the group, just for reference. Can't carry on probably more than another month or so. He pretty much wrote everything he had while we were playing Rapanathuk. So it could be that I'll be taking up the reins again, because the other guys don't particularly want to, and the one guy that would do it, he did it once before under 3rd, and he really is the my role as DM is to kill the characters. And it wasn't a particularly great game. It was amusing for a couple of weeks, and then everyone else went, well, actually we're not really getting on with it. So it looks like I will end up having to run that again. And that's partly where some of my recent vids about does fantasy have to be fantastic and so forth come from. Because I've reached a point where the whole... And I partly blame the Rapanathuk campaign for this, really. I'm not sure why, but it just seems to be in that the whole fantastical element. Magic items are common. Because you've got magic, it's kind of part and parcel of the setting, therefore there's magic shops and others. So I've just lost, not interested. I want low magic. I think you can have low magic while still having magic and monsters. And there is a discussion on EO World. Someone responded with the idea that you've got your civilised areas, you've got your cities and so forth. As soon as you hit the wilderness, that's it. That's where the monsters live. And that's the only excuse you really need. And that, I think, is where I'm going to go. I think when I restart a new Pathfinder game, it's going to be slow advancement, maybe actually medium advancement, but keep slow treasure, and keep magic items rare, with the exception of, say, potion scrolls and maybe wands, because I can imagine spellcasters would make them a lot more often. But we'll see. Otherwise, I also am running at the moment a Pathfinder game every other Friday night for a group of guys. Now this one's a bit different, whereas my Sunday night game is very much guys I've known for many years, and we're all on the same level. The Friday night one, unfortunately, is a bit where the guys take it as a bit of shits and giggles. They have fun playing, but they don't take the game particularly seriously, and unfortunately at sort of at my age now, I'm not interested in the beer and pretzels mentality. I want a serious game. Two of them are quite good. One's a complete power gamer, and I have to kind of slap him down a bit for it. And a couple of the other guys, I don't know, I don't want to be horrible to them, but I just don't think they quite get it, really. We were running up until middle of January. I was running the Shackled City Adventure Path for them using Pathfinder. which I'd run with my Sunday group when the hardcover book was released. But these guys just didn't seem to be getting into it. It got to a point where I was not relishing the idea of turning up for the session. And so I had a word with a couple of people, and I just said, right, we're quitting the game. We're going to start again, but this time there's going to be no power gaming. And, if I have to veto something you want to do, then that's what I'll do, because it's not the sort of game I want to run. If you want me to run a game on a Friday, you're going to have to accept some changes. And they've been cool with it. No power gaming. Again, magic items reduced, slow advancement, slow treasure. I'm kind of using them as guinea pigs for what might be the Sunday night game. And so far that's going along quite well, although they've been very unlucky. This first scenario, it's only the first level, we've had 3 character deaths already. They've been very unlucky. The other game is a fortnightly game on a Tuesday night, which is one of my friends in the sort of a couple of towns over is running Dark Heresy, one of the 40k games, of which I should actually get around to doing some reviews of at some point soon. And that's quite cool. We're really enjoying that. He's a bit more of a sandbox DM, I guess. He has his scenario, but we've got an area, and we're basically left to do what we want. If it's a town or a city or a space station, as it currently is, it's there, and you wander where you want, you do what you want, which doesn't really sit too well with me, either as a GM or as a player. I kind of just want to get on with the story, but the way he's doing it is really fun, so can't grumble. The only other thing is our local game store, what we have of it. We used to use it when it was a game store. We used to use it every Sunday, and it'd be board games and card games and various, whatever role plays and whatever people wanted to bring down. Since the owner changed it into a bicycle shop and has just kept the Magic and a little bit of Warhammer, unfortunately we don't quite have the space, and now it's just fallen into a Magic the Gathering day, which was kind of fine up to a point, but now I know a couple of other people are sick and tired of seeing Magic. It basically dominates a Sunday, and there are tables for it on the club night while they're actually playing Warhammer, but some of us are just kind of sick and tired of seeing Magic cards. And so hopefully we can kind of shift things slightly. We can keep some space for the Magic players and get some space for what everyone else wants to do, board games or something. But that's really about it for this update. I'll do another one of these end of March, just to see how the games are going along and what have you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.